pads. God! I hate when that happens. Dings! Damn! Okay. Thing's all coated in fucking brake fluid. Wonder why. Huh, that's weird. What's up, YouTube? Back again with part 5. Doing it a little earlier than I expected because my brakes failed today. My pedal went straight to the floor, and I made it home, and now I'm doing the brake swap today. Look at all that shiny brake fluid. Beautiful. Alright, I'm going to start by removing this cotter pin and breaking this nut loose. Alright, so I have new cotter pins, so I hate messing with these. They're a pain in the ass. Next thing you want to do is get a 36mm socket and bust this nut loose. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is grab a 14mm and undo the brake caliper. Nice. So the rear caliper piston actually blew out, so that's good. This rotor's shot. Next thing to do, grab a 17mm and break loose these caliper mounts. Garbage. Alright, the next thing you need is a 19mm wrench, and I'm using a 19mm socket on an impact. Hit these three. 1, 2, 3. Alright, for the strut, it's a 17mm. Alright, now you can put your hub nut back on, make it flush with your axle, and then use a hammer. Alright, so on the ball joint down here, there's a cotter pin that you want to undo. Alright, so once you spend about 15 minutes struggling with this bitch cotter pin, you're going to get a 22mm and hit this ball joint bolt. And now that you have your knuckle loose, you're gonna You're gonna wanna chuck that fucker. Alright, so the next thing you wanna do is undo your brake line. So, right here, I don't know if you can see that. Alright, so it's a 10 mil. Ow, fuck! Alright, so I finally got the brake line unhooked. That is the fucking most pain in the ass setup. Dripping shit everywhere. Fuck. So now there's a clip on the other side, which is fucking retarded, that you gotta get. So I'm gonna try and get that. Hey, cool. Got it. Get out of here. Alright, so I'm undoing the ebrake cable right now. Alright, and again, you're gonna wanna chuck that fucker. Alright, so where I'm at right now, let's see, this ball joint, I did this again. This is the second time I've done shit like this. But I was hammering on it and I mushroomed the damn threads. So, need to grind that down a little bit. I need to grind it down, see if I can get back to some fresh threads. And I'm about to slap this old knuckle back in real quick. Because I need to move my car like 2 feet. Because I'm not finishing this tonight. And I want to be able to close my garage door. So, fuck. Alright, well, it's been a few days later. I'm going to try and grind the tip of this ball joint down, see if I can get the bolt back on. Alright, so I finally got the nut to thread back on, so we can continue. Next thing I'm going to do is unbolt the ebrake cable bracket, which is right there. Okay, once you get that first bolt out, you can drop half of it. And there's another bolt up here, and then there's the T that connects both of them. So undo this bolt. Okay, so here's the ebrake cable. Alright, so now I'm going to install the new steel braided brake line. Oh, here it is. Hooked up. Now, feed it through. Alright, so here's the brake line installed. Alright, so I'm going to install this first knuckle. First thing to get the new knuckle in, let's do the ball joint bolt. Alright, and then you want to slide in a new cotter pin. Next thing you want to do is wrestle your CV joint into the hub. Perfect. 3 bolts. Put those in. now do your strut. Okay. And then the strut washer and the nut. So the next thing I'm going to do is put the brake rotor on, and make sure to spray it down with brake parts cleaner before you put it on. Whew. Alright, next you want to put your brake caliper on. And a very important step that I forgot is go and put your axle nut back on. Remember the washer? Remember to put in a new cotter pin. Alright, the ISR brake lines are 11 mil. So here's the old. Crusty and rusty and shitty and everything else. Here's the new one. Alright, so when you're assembling your rear brakes, you need to use some of this stuff. I'm also going to go back and do it in the front since I never did that in part 3, I think. Alright, so you want to put a little bit on here. Smear it around a little bit. And insert it in the caliper. That. Do the other side. Alright, now what you want to do is take your tension spring, place it right here. Okay. Take your pin, stick it through. Make sure it goes through the hole on the first brake pad. Now it's going to go in like that. And then push this one forward. Alright. Okay, not like that. Okay, hold that in place. I'm going to do the same for the bottom. Make sure you press that. Alright, like so. Cool. Okay, now there's good pressure on the brake pads. And don't forget your cotter pins to keep these pins in. Alright, so this is where I'm at. I got everything installed. Got the brake pad or the brake calipers loaded on both sides. So next thing to do is change out the master cylinder. 2JZ power. Alright, so there it is, all old and crusty. Alright, so I'm going to start by placing something to catch all the fluid right here. Alright, now I'm going to unplug the sensor. These are all 10 mil bolts. Just break them all loose first. Okay, now that your lines are disconnected, there's two, I think 12 millimeter bolts. Let's see if they're 12s. Yes, they are. Okay, so now it should, well, oh yeah. Easy. Oh yeah. Just putting a little bit of lube right in this hole. Like that. Plug up the connector. This isn't gonna plug up. Alright, so I jumped the gun and put fluid in, but I want to retain the connector, so, and they don't fit. So what I'm gonna do is pull the new reservoir and pull off the old one from the old unit and place it in the new one, so I can then plug up. Take some brake cleaner and clean this thing up. Alright, so since the connector is on this side, I'm going to place the reservoir with the connector this way. Okay, well, now I'm gonna pour more brake fluid in. Alright, so the torque spec for the axle nut is 150 to 201 foot-pounds. Alright, so this torque wrench only goes up to 140, but I'm just gonna give it a little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so here's the 240. So for the last couple of days I've been riding around with mushy brakes. So I made a post on Reddit, and someone suggested that I might have my calipers, my rear calipers, switched around. So I'm about to jack my car up and swap the rear calipers. So we'll see if that fixes my squishy brake pedal. Alright guys, so in part 4 I told you to make your spacer 11 millimeters. Don't do that, because you're gonna get some fucking annoying ass brake rub. So I'm currently taking apart my ebrake right now, taking the anchor bolt out, and I have these spacers that equal 6 millimeters instead of 11. These two washers equal just about 6 millimeters. A user by the name of Colin S actually suggested this. So I'm going to test fit these, and I'll probably have to drill them out with this bit. Okay, so I got these washers in here, just kind of test fitting them. I'm gonna have to, that black Sharpie, I'm gonna have to put these in my vise and use my grinder and grind them down so they'll fit. Alright, so I got my washers in, got my old spacer out. So I just got everything pretty much put back together. So I'm gonna put the caliper and rotor back on and do the other side and make sure it works. Alright, so I'm going to start by making some ebrake brackets. One of these is because the 2+2 ebrake cables are like this much too long, so you got to make some brackets. So I'm going to start by, I have a template. Actually I have 4 templates right here. I'm just going to be using 2. I'm going to be using this metal stock that I got, and a bolt and nut for each bracket. And what's actually going to hold the bracket to the chassis is just the stock ebrake hardware. Just 1 bolt per cable. So I think I'm going to paint these red. Why? Because who cares? Alright, so this is how the bracket fits. Bracket. Stock bolt. It's gonna screw in right here. This bracket right here. It's gonna go into this T. So, okay, kind of like that. You just need to tighten down the bolts so they don't slide around everywhere. And yeah, so I'm gonna go to get everything tightened, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. Alright, so I got my ebrake cables hooked up. Hopefully when I pull the ebrake lever, the tire will stop. So let's find out right now. Alright, so the 5-lug Z32 brake swap is finally done. I started gathering parts for it back in 2014, like November, December, and so I'm now just finishing it. Now if this would have been just like a non-daily driver project car, I would have had this done, you know, a while ago, but you know, I wanted to make sure I had a ride to work and shit like that. So yeah, the e-brake works, everything works as it should. I just took the car down the street and pulled the e-brake a little bit, and it does need to be tightened a little bit, but overall it works. I'm so happy that it works, because now I can move on to my next project, which I'm not sure what that is. Probably something with the 4Runner or the exhaust leak on this car. But yeah, so if you like my 240 videos, if you just like seeing my car videos in general, make sure to subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I'm going to be making a S13 5-lug brake swap, you know, in a nutshell video pretty soon. It's going to be like all 5 parts condensed into one part, and then I'll have, like, you know, you can check out, oh, if you want to see more details on this, you can go to this part 4, part 3, whatever. So I think I'm going to do that. Just basically it's going to be like an overview of really all that I've learned from doing this. So yeah, thanks for watching this video.